gotten tons of hate mail from black Trump voters. Now, right off the bat, if you're black and you voted for Trump or you're still supporting Trump, you are delusional. If you think Trump, I've known Trump for 30 years. If you think he's pro-black people, you're completely delusional. I've been to Mar-a-Lago, I don't know how many times, and I've never seen a black person there. And Mar-a-Lago is a huge place. There's 1,000 people there when I used to go there for a fundraiser or an event. Never seen a black person. I've never seen a single black person there. Okay? Trump is not a fan of black people, but you probably didn't see this. If you're still supporting him, you probably didn't see how he snuck this in a couple of days ago. So a couple of days ago, if you're not familiar, Trump pulled back the law that kept federal workers in federal buildings from segregating bathrooms, drinking fountains, work areas from blacks and whites or any other race. Okay, it was always black and white, but that's what the law says. He pulled it. Okay, now we're going back to the days of the early 60s, late 50s, 1950s and before, where there were black water fountains, colored water fountains is what they called them for coloreds, and white water fountains, and restaurants. And now in federal buildings, they can discriminate against you. Okay, let me tell you, if you didn't know that, let me tell you what's next. It's coming. Watch. The Civil Rights Act of 1964. Now, if you don't know your history, that's what Martin Luther King died for, basically. Okay, that's what John Lewis used to march in the streets for. Jesse Jackson, all these guys fought for this to give so people could not discriminate. The government couldn't discriminate, citizens couldn't discriminate, companies couldn't discriminate against people of color. Okay, if he pulls that, we're headed back to 1950. And if you're black, you ain't gonna like it, let me tell you. Okay, I don't know how many of these people that are sending me hate mail that are black are educated people, but if you know your history, I don't see how you're supporting Trump. Wake up before it's too late. It's going to take generations to pull this back together if we ever do. And you don't want to live in a country when you're a black person that's circa 1940, 1950. It was not a pleasant experience. Okay. That's why the civil rights people marched and did all the things they did, because they had real guts. They weren't sitting back. Another thing I'm getting from black people is, oh, well, you can march now. We did it in civil rights. It's your turn. Are you kidding me? If you're not a wealthy white male, he's coming after you. He's coming after your rights. Women, Hispanics, military people as well. They're a minority as well. He has total disdain for the military. I don't know how many times he has to tell you guys how he thinks you're suckers and losers. He said it a million times. Okay, he has no respect for military people. He doesn't understand, and I've had this conversation with him personally over the years. He doesn't understand why people go into the military, risk their lives, basically for politicians that don't know what the hell they're doing half the time anyway. All these kids died in Vietnam, when I was growing up, and we didn't even have a good reason to be there. Okay, so there's a lot, and that's how Trump feels. He thinks you're suckers, you don't make any money. Okay, so if you don't make any money, he doesn't respect you anyway, which is obviously ridiculous. I mean, military people are patriots, obviously, but he doesn't believe that. He's not on your side. Guys, wake up before he pulls every right you have. Again, I fit into the, I'm a white, wealthy male. Okay, he's not coming after me, although he'll probably come after me for doing posts like this. Eventually he'll shut me down. He'll shut every voice down. Free speech itself will be shut down. It won't take long unless we can get rid of this guy as fast as we possibly can and overturn this administration. And the only way we're going to do it is if people stand up. Here's my message to people. If you're one of the people that's sending me hate mail, stop sending it. I don't care. You're delusional. If you think he's on your side, you want to be delusional, you want to go back to separate drinking fountains and all the major discrimination that you never even saw before because you're too young, that's up to you. It's pretty stupid. But I'm not going to say...
So what's up, how are you doing? I'm hoping that you're doing super great from whatever you're watching us from. And I'm hoping that you are super fine. Now there's this white man who tries to gaslight black people to get in the street, and I think they're trying so much to still get black people in the street, and black people are not getting into the street because this is not their fight. They didn't sign up for that. You are the ones who signed up for that. First, you're out there because of your neoliberal capitalism. So why do you bring somebody inside it while you're the ones who started it? When you voted the person you voted for, you thought that they're going to be helping you. They're going to be changing the life that you have, but they're not doing that. Now, this phenomena where white individuals particularly from historically privileged groups, begin to protest economic decline, and they turn to gaslight black communities by suggesting that they should protest more due to their poverty. We need to understand that this is really complex phenomena, and it is deeply ingrained in the contradictions within the Western political culture, economic narratives, and the long-standing dynamics of racial oppression. The idea that black people should be more vocal or militant in their protests, especially when suggested by white individuals who often ignored or undermined black struggle in the past, is not only disingenuous, it is manipulative. It attempts to redirect responsibilities and obscure the structural factors that have shaped current social contradictions. Now, first, we must understand that black people have been protesting for centuries. Remember, from slave revolts to anti-colonial movements to civil rights marches to more recent Black Lives Matter uprising, black resistance is not new nor passive. It is strategic, often forced into non-traditional forms of disproportionate levels of surveillance, policing, and punishment that black people face when they do protest. When black people hit the streets, they are often met with militarized police, tear gas, dogs, media vilification, and legal repercussions. White protesters, by contrast, are often allowed more space to demonstrate without the same systemic backlash. So when a white man suggests that black people should protest more, he is ignoring history and the double standards that make black protest dangerous and costly. So really, I want us to watch this video. It really entails a lot of things that I think we need to have a discourse in regards to this. And hey, if you're watching us for the first time, I'll ask you to subscribe to the channel, join our membership, and really get to see what we can offer you. For those who are always supporting me through my Cash App, through my Super Thanks, I'm highly grateful for the support. And if you wish to buy me a coffee, you can check my Cash App account, which is on my bio. I hope this video serves you right. Let's watch the video. I'll be back.
But I'm not going to suffer for it. You're going to suffer for it. Every black person is going to suffer for it. For that matter, every minority is going to suffer for it. Wake up, people. It's time to fight back.
So I have seen some creators say, you know, I know that black people, we said that we were resting and that we're not going to protest out in the street and that we're not going to engage. But you have to realize that once they finish causing all of this chaos and going after everybody else, they're coming after black people next. So we need to really become engaged. This is what I have to say in response to that. As a community, we are resisting. We are protesting. We're just not out in these streets. Y'all see what happened at that May Day protest. Who did the police arrest and haul away? And they were all black. We instead are protesting with our dollars, choosing to patronize businesses and services that respect us whenever and however we can. That's why Target is in free fall, and so is Tesla. And also that's why Sinners has become one of the highest grossing original films that's come out of Hollywood in quite some time. This is an original IP from a black couple, Ryan Coogler and his wife, Zinzi Evans, that they produced from their production company, Proximity Media, that has an all-black cast. And as a community, we have shown out. It was mainly us that put that film at the top of the box office. And we are continually going to see it over and over again. We are showing the world that we have money that we spend. And when you disrespect us and disparage us, you're going to feel it. And the other thing about they may try to deport us next, When has this nation ever stopped fucking with black folk? I'll wait. Tell me when collectively has white America says, you know what, we're going to leave black folk alone for a while. We have always been targeted. We have always been oppressed and attacked constantly. So when folks get on here and say, we're next, when have we not been? When have we not been the target? Is situation normal? And I hate that there are many of us that underestimate us. We are still here. Despite the horrendous circumstances that we have had to exist in this nation, many of us are not only surviving, but thriving. And we are creating art. And every time it's appropriated, we create new forms of expression. Ryan Coogler and his wife, they are redefining the game. We are doing what we do. We're not just being idle. I don't know where this idea is coming from that we're being idle, because we're not out in these streets protesting, which is no longer effective, if it ever was, since the civil rights movement. The only thing that protesting in the streets has ever gotten us is to be beaten and arrested and hauled off to jail, some of us injured and even killed. And it doesn't move the needle one iota. Look at April 5th and all the white folks that came out for their powwow that they called a protest, and that didn't do a single solitary thing. No, many of us, are understanding that money is the engine that makes this country go. And collectively, black people, we have a lot of it. So that's my response to people saying, well, you know, black people, we're going to be next. When have we not been on the hit list at the very top? When has this nation ever stopped fucking with black folk?
They coming for black folks next. They coming for black folks next. Friend, I'm so sick of them using that manipulation tactic. The only reason why they keep saying that to us is because they hope that it will put fear in us to make us get out into the street. And all they want is for black people to get out in the streets to be cover for them. They want black people to be on the front lines so that they can stand behind us. And if they aren't, I don't know what they're looking at. Are they not paying attention? They are coming for us right now. Have they not seen how Donald Trump has rolled back civil rights, or he's attempted to roll back civil rights? Have they not been paying attention to how his administration is threatening and extorting corporations and universities, trying to get them to roll back DEI programs? Are they not paying attention to how he put out an executive order trying to wipe out the African American Museum? They are coming for black people right now. We are just protesting differently. We are staying inside. We are resisting by having black joy, line dancing, going to see sinners, out in the garden. Yeah, and saving our money, not spending our money. That's how we are protesting. Smart, because if we get out in the streets, we will be just like those two black ladies that got hogtied and put in the paddy wagon. So yeah, black folks, continue resting. Continue resisting and protesting by way of your dollars. Continue resisting and protesting by having black joy. Learn those line dances. Read a new book. Take a nap. Learn how to play a new video game. Take up a hobby, an online hobby. Just stay out of those streets.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you're doing super great, super fine from wherever you're watching me from. Um, you need to understand one thing, that this form of gaslighting assumes that a moral high ground that is fundamentally dishonest. Many white citizens who are now protesting about economic issues, cost of living, land reforms, taxation, were either silent or complicit when black communities were ravaged by um, poverty, underfunded schools, redlining, gentrification, and mass incarceration. Their newfound anger is not about justice, but about the discomfort of losing privilege. Right? They're not protesting systemic injustice, they are protesting their own laws of economic dominance. To turn around and say, black people are poorer and they should be on the street. Why aren't you on the streets? Is an attempt to mask their own complicity and shift the narrative away from their own insecurities. It's more of trying to deflect from the mistakes that you've made and put it look like it is the other party that made it happen. Now, also you need to understand that the calmness of many black communities in the face of poverty is not due to apathy or ignorance. It is born from deep historical understanding of struggles and survival. Black people have long known that systems are not designed to respond to their needs, and that even when they demand justice, those demands are often met with indifference or violence. The silence, therefore, is not consent. It is the quiet calculation of a people who have seen every kind of betrayal by governments, by police, by the media, and even by the white allies that restraint should be misunderstood as acceptance. It is a wisdom shared by generational experience. It is a wisdom shaped by generational experience. Also, you need to understand that the white outrage we're seeing today is not purely about economic. It is often fueled by a sense of entitlement. Many of these protesters feel that the economic system has failed them, not because it is unjust overall, because it is no longer prioritizing them. They are not protesting on behalf of the poor. They are protesting the erosion of white economic dominance. When that dominance is threatened, the system that once worked for them begins to look like tyranny. But this system has always been tyrannical for black people and other marginalized communities. The difference is that now white people are beginning to feel what black people have endured for generations. And I think we've talked about this for the longest time. What you're having right now, you think that it is really sad. This is something that black folks have been going through for the longest time. I'm also going to be talking about the suggestion that black people should protest more also functions as a subtle trap. If black people take to the streets, they are criminalized. If they remain calm, they are accused of complacency. It's a lose-lose scenario carefully constructed to control the narrative and maintains racial hierarchy. He is weaponizing black pain as a rhetorical device to distract from his own grievances. In doing so, he positions black people as props in a struggle that still centers whiteness and ignores black agency. And I think black people are really getting to know how to play these cards, because there's this emotional manipulation that they usually try to manipulate black people so that they can get them on the street, but black people didn't want to put up with that. So that being said, this means that this is something that it is really wrong that needs to be taken care of. I mean, black people need to be keen on this because they'll always come to manipulate you. Also going to be talking about there is a psychological element at play here. The rise of white economic protest is often accompanied by a refusal to acknowledge that many of the economic problem are as a result of neoliberal capitalism. And I think I said this in the beginning of the video, not black people. But instead of turning their rage towards corporate elites, exploitative policies, or the ruling class, they project their own anger downwards. They look at immigrants, welfare recipients, or urban black communities as scapegoats. Then, in cynical twist, they pretend to care about these same groups, urging them to rise up as a way of shifting blame and deflecting their own failures to confront the system. I'm also going to be talking about this also reflects how racial capitalism operates. The system is designed to divide the working class along racial lines. When you get to check the Bacon's Rebellion, I think this is what happened. White workers are fed a lie that they are superior, even when they are economically struggling, while black workers are dehumanized and blamed for social ills. When white people protest economic issues, it is often framed as patriotic or noble. When black people do the same, it is viewed as dangerous, radical, or anti American. These double standards are not accidents, they are the gears of racial capitalism, keeping the oppressed from uniting against the true source of their oppression. And I think it is high time we get to see how the relationship between capitalism and racism, how it happened and how it's still happening. A perfect example is the Bacon Rebellion, where race was used as a determinant. These elites went to white folks and told them, they sold them a lie, that you are greater and you don't have to work like black people work. And now they got in the privileges of having to get all these, but it never happened for black people. And that's how they created all these racial lines. And this shows you how racial capitalism have often operated for the longest time. Another important aspect that I feel that we need to talk about is many black communities have developed alternative forms of resistance that do not always look like street protest. Mutual aid networks, community organization, education initiatives, and cooperative economics are all powerful forms of resistance. Just because these efforts are not televised or performed for white approval does not make them less valid. In fact, they may be more effective in the long term. By rebuilding internally, black communities are resisting not just through protest but through resilience, creativity, and solidarity. When you talk about creativity, we get to look at 2 months ago what Kendrick Lamar did at the Super Bowl performance. They're not like us. It really sold. And when we talk about creativity, we also look at the recent movie released called Sinners. That's how we show the black resilience towards these people. It is at this time that we need to use here than here. So it really makes sense when that's being done. So that's being said, I'm your host, Eugene Doc Stories, and I'm hoping that you are super great from wherever you're watching me from. If you're watching me for the first time, remember I'm appealing to you to subscribe to my channel, join my membership. For those who are wishing to still support me through my Cash App, is in my bio, Kendrick Candle. I'm hoping that you are great. Now, these are presented Eugene Doc Stories, and I'm hoping to see you on my next video, because I know I have something for you good. So let me see you on my next video. But until then, I'm gonna be saying peace, love, and harmony. Salute.